You know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to do tonight what I did last year.
Which was?
Hit that button in the elevator that says penthouse, go straight to the top.
Going to see George and Wheezy?
Nope.
Nope.
I'm going straight to the top, and I'm just going to watch ESPN and see what the College Football Playoff Committee has in store for my team. That's what happened last year. It's great. It's now a tradition in the household. Sit down Tuesday after beating Ohio State by putting 40 on them. Sit down and see what we got in store.
2 years makes a tradition.
Oh, yes, it does.
I think it does, actually.
Yes, it
It's got to
does.
be more than one
Remember
year, right?
last year, I'm like, I didn't know what it felt like. I felt like Costanza walking into that spot where there are models all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Great bar.
Right? Unfortunately, Georgia turned it back into what Costanza walked in at the end of that Seinfeld episode, but it was still great to be there while it lasted. And so we'll see what happens. And it's going to be important what the College Football Playoff Committee thinks. Georgia's been number one all year long, correct?
They have.
Correct?
I think Tennessee was number one during the first one.
Correct. And then Georgia
they're since after.
got back in there after, stomping all over Tennessee in a way that Alabama did not, could not. So the question is how much does the College Football Playoff Committee value the Ohio State University? This is actually the question of the night, right? How much does this playoff committee value the Ohio State University? Not in terms of just a football program that can win it all, but also of an interest in seeing them in it or having a shot to be in it after what we just saw in the Horseshoe on Saturday. Because if the College Football Playoff Committee values Ohio State that highly, being ranked 2 before getting beaten by 22 at home, then Michigan might leapfrog Georgia, right? And one would think Ohio State will be either 5 or 6. Let's see if they value them. If, say, Michigan stays at 2, Georgia's at 1, do they put Alabama in front of Ohio State with its 2 losses being by a combined 4 points at Tennessee, where we all know Tennessee won on a last-second field goal, and once the ball went through the uprights, the folks yanked the uprights out of the ground and threw it in the river.
It's still floating.
And then Alabama lost at LSU when Brian Kelly said, I'm going for 2, and won it on the spot. That's the 2 losses for Alabama. Do they sit here and say Alabama is that good still with its 2 losses? Is Alabama maybe of more interest nationally for people to see than the Ohio State team that just lost by 22?
Yes. What?
I mean, they're a team
I know
knows
you don't have a dog. You don't have a dog in this hunt.
I don't care, but yes, they're way more interesting.
Like, would you rather see Alabama take on Georgia again or Michigan?
Well, they haven't played this year, but yes.
I know they haven't played this year. That's the whole thing. It's because, again, the SEC doesn't make that happen every year in the same way the Big Ten makes it happen for Michigan with Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan State.
Partial during this conversation.
No, I am being partial.
I mean, you're not, though. But
I am being partial.
The Big Ten doesn't make Ohio State and Michigan play each other.
Yes, they do. Every year. It's on the schedule. They make up the schedule, and it's on the schedule every year. So they do.
Right.
So it's on the schedule every year.
They could not schedule it.
That's true. And we would all be wondering what gives. In the same way I, as a Big Ten fan, asks that question every year. What do you mean Alabama and Georgia don't play every year?
They're not in the same division.
Got it.
I mean, I don't know why this is hard to understand.
So I don't know why they're in different divisions then. So this, of course, is all predicated on USC not cashing in its ticket in the Pac-12 championship game against Utah, which is the only team to have beaten USC to this point, a 3-point victory for the Utes.
1 point.
1 point. Pardon me. I thought it was 3.
Yeah, they went for 2.
That's right. My bad. 1 point victory. So there's all of that. What does the College Football Committee value? And the Ohio State is the linchpin. How much of their I guess I'm choosing my words carefully so I don't get this guy saying I'm being biased. How much of their worth do they value? Their number 2 status that Michigan punked? Or their number 2 status allows them, as Kevin Warren would say, to show up at 4? What if the college football committee just says you'd only lose 2 spots?
Ugh.
USC has to win to get in. And if USC loses, they've already made their decision. Alabama, sorry, you're out. What if they just make that decision tonight and pull the plug on the Crimson Tide tonight? I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll put USC in at 4.
Yeah,
Have Michigan-
basically saying USC, you're in as long as you take care of business.
I think it will be Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and then USC. You're 4. You take care of business. You are in. And just tell all the Buckeye fans and Kevin Warren it's over if USC wins. And the question is, where do you put it 5? And can they switch 5 and 6 after? Well, we thought about it a week later, and we're still putting Alabama in anyway. Is that possible? These are the things I want to ask Bruce Feldman when he joins us in 20 minutes.
It also gets super hairy. Like, what if K-State upsets TCU? That's only a field goal game
That's
right
true
now.
too.
Kansas State has been tough all year long.
I've already pissed off Stone Street enough. The fact I haven't mentioned them, and you had to mention them anyway.
I'm
that's
just saying
possible.
that's a real
That's
possibility.
true. Kurt Warner's son is on the team. Cade's on that team.
Because if that happens,
Kurt's going to the game, by the way. He'll be there. The Warners
if
will be
that
there.
happens,
Yes.
I mean, if Utah, let's just say complete chaos scenario, right?
Utah wins, Kansas State wins.
Right, exactly.
Then I think the
Then
Ohio
Alabama
State's in.
and Ohio State are in.
Yes. Do you think the college football committee wants all blue bloods like that?
I think so. I mean, that's not going to suck. I mean, look, not having USC is kind of a bummer because like they've been a great story this year. They're quote unquote back. You know,
Let's just say, if that happens, I think you would see, you would see Alabama take on Michigan and USC take on Georgia, just to separate everybody, right?
sure, yeah, absolutely.
And then there's this opportunity as well. USC has a chance to win it all right now for sure. They're 2 wins away against Utah and then whoever they would play in the national semifinal from playing for the championship in SoFi, just like the Rams did. The only difference in that scenario would be the likelihood of USC taking on a team from Ohio for the championship is very low. Woo! It's so great. I told you the day after is better than the next, and the next is better than the day before. It's so great.
Well, I need to get the.
I don't
actual
think there's
date
going to be a team from Ohio.
of next year's game. TJ, just hold on.
Oh!
Just the actual date of.
What
next
is
year's
that
game.
date? Just so we know.
Saturday, November 18th. So we have.
No, that's early. That'll be early.
That's what it says.
probably
That's what it says.
Really? No kidding. That sounds early. It's usually very early. It's usually the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. It's probably the 25th.
You're right. Saturday 25th.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay.
Saturday the 25th.
That's fine. Peg it.
So we're 361 days.
Oh,
away.
it's great. I got a lot of time to
361.
talk. Of course, Ohio State fans are like, well, just you wait. We're going to get in the college football playoff, and we're going to face you again, and we'll beat you, and it'll totally reverse the fortune. If that happens,
Okay.
I don't know.
You had a good 2-year run.
Dude,
Again, TCU and USC both have to lose.
I don't know about that. If USC loses, I think, again, that's why that where they place Michigan, they can't place Michigan at 1 and Ohio State 6 because they would value the win over Ohio State so much. Or I guess they can do that. I guess they can. Boy, if they place Michigan 1 and Ohio State 6, that would just put the stamp on that win. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.